Hi, I'm Christine from Poise for Success, and today I'm going to be talking to you about clicker training and how to get started training with the clicker, assisted by the lovely Miss Tessa. Now, if you're new to the clicker and you find the idea a little bit intimidating, please don't. It's really easy to get started with the clicker. And once you have a basic foundation with clicker training, the sky's the limit as far as what you can do with this particular training tool. I'm going to demo how to introduce a dog to the clicker, and then a couple of really simple exercises that you can do with your dog if you and your dog are new to clicker training. In order to begin clicker training with your dog needs to know that the click means a treat is coming. So I recommend this process for teaching that to your dog. You'll have your clicker in one hand. Make sure you have it set to click. I can't say how many people I've worked with who went to click and it was on the wrong side. It doesn't click if you do that. So make sure it's on the side you're actually going to get the click. So you've got your clicker at the ready, and you're going to have some treats in your hand. I'm going to recommend that you put both behind your back. If you're working with a dog on leash, you can step on the leash. Or if you're working in your home or another safe place, your dog wouldn't typically be on leash to begin with. The reason that I suggest you have your hands behind your back when you start, you do not need to have them there forever. The reason I recommend you have your hands behind your back as you start is that dogs are very visual. And you can inadvertently teach your dog that having to see the clicker is actually part of that particular mark. You can also inadvertently teach your dog that there needs to be food in their view in order for this type of training to happen. So if you have your food and your clicker behind you, your dog is going to hear the click, and then the food is going to be presented. Hear the click, see the food coming. And you can practice that without your dog. Hear the click, see the food coming. Hear the click, see the food coming. A dog with a lot of clicker experience does not need the clicker to be hidden, nor does that dog always need the treats to be hidden. But again, when you're first getting started, you don't want to teach your dog, this is the picture that makes training happen. Hear the click, see the food coming. So Tessa and I are going to show you how to introduce the click to the dog. So I've got my treats here, all ready to go, something she likes and wants, even in this situation. I'm going to put the clicker and treats behind my back so she hears the click, sees the treat coming. Hears the click, sees the treat coming. It does not matter whether your dog is sitting, standing, laying down. I would recommend not asking for any particular sit, stand, down, because really all you're teaching your dog is hear the click, here comes a treat. Hear the click, here comes a treat. I would recommend doing this with about 10 treats and repeating it over a couple of training sessions. Some dogs get this very quickly, but others do need a bit of repetition to get the idea. This exercise is a good introductory exercise to teach your dog that making a voluntary choice can cause the click to happen. I'm going to have some treats in my hand, and I'm going to drop a treat on the ground. Now, if you're in a place that's free of distractions, when your dog is finished with the treat, your dog is most likely going to look back up at you. So again, drop the treat, put your hands behind your back. As your dog starts to raise his or her head, click, your dog's going to hear the click, hand your dog another treat. Drop another one to set up another rep. Your dog starts to look up, hears the click, sees the treat coming. As your dog gets more used to clicker training, you can have more time between when the click happens and the treat, But when you're first starting out, I would say try not to have a long delay in between the two. So the purpose of this next exercise is to introduce the concept that making a choice can cause the click in the treat to happen. So I'm going to put a treat on the ground. Tessa's going to eat it. As she starts to raise her head up, I'm going to click, give her another treat. And for now, I'm going to keep the clicker and treats behind my back as I did when I was introducing the clicker. Good girl. Good. 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 Good girl. You notice when she was distracted for a second, I waited to click until she actually oriented toward me. It's kind of my gut response to do that because she is a more experienced dog and I know she's going to offer me that attention pretty soon. If she were new to this, I still would have clicked as she raised her head even though she wasn't oriented completely toward me. But again, those kinds of mistakes happen. And like I said, they come out in the wash. So if you miss an opportunity to click, just give your dog a treat, reset the exercise, and continue. Over time, with many repetitions, our dogs get the idea. This is a basic exercise to, again, teach your dog that choosing a behavior can make the click and the treat happen. And it's also a good introduction to capturing. I'm going to have a green ground target in front of me on the ground. I'm going to toss a treat away to get Tessa to move away from it, and then I'm going to stand there with the target in front of me. As she's approaching the target, because she's going to come back, I'm not going to call her, but she's going to come back because, again, she knows I have food. As she's coming back, I'm going to click, hopefully just before her feet land on the target, and I'll hand her a treat. So again, toss, hands behind my back. She comes running toward me, or walking. She's getting close to the target. I click, hand her a treat. And again, this is a good way to continue to introduce your dog to the fact that click means treat is coming, and something he or she did made that happen. From there, we can build all kinds of different approaches to training with the clicker. So I have just a piece of foam on the ground. You could use a towel, you could use a low board. I wouldn't start with anything with any height with a new dog unless your dog has a history of putting feet on it and you know your dog is going to offer that behavior. But something flat, a mat, a piece of foam, a board, is ideal here. Something your dog really isn't going to think anything of putting their feet on to stand in front of you. I'm going to toss a treat away. She's going to get it. She's going to come back to me. I'm going to click when she's about to put her feet on the foam and hand her a treat when she's on the foam. Yes, good girl. Nice. Nice job. Okay. Good girl. Nice. Nice job. Okay. Good job. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Another thing that I'd like to address when it comes to clicker training is talking. Some clicker trainers will say you need to be completely silent as you use a clicker to train your dog. So you wait for your dog to offer the behavior, you're silent. You click, you're silent. You hand your dog treats, you're silent. But not all clicker trainers train that way. Personally, I kind of use a little bit of a hybrid. Generally speaking, I am quiet while I'm waiting for my dog to carry out a behavior. Unless what I'm actually using the clicker to do is train cues, in which case I am saying cues. There certainly are times when voice is going to come into play with training. But what I'm not doing is using my voice to try to get my dog to choose a particular behavior. I'm not doing this. Tessa, 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 Tessa. Good girl. However, I like to use my voice as part of the reinforcer. So I click. I do remain silent as I'm clicking, but once I've clicked, I often praise my dog as I'm giving the reinforcer. I find that serves as a nice bridge to transitioning eventually off of food to praise, but also I just find it more natural. So please don't feel that you need to be completely silent when you train with the clicker, unless that's your particular style. If it is, that can work. But you don't have to remain silent. What you want to avoid is using your voice to try to kind of override your dog's ability to make a choice on his or her own. So here, you can see I wait for Tessa to offer the behavior. I click, but then I praise as I'm giving her the treats. Good girl, Tessa, nice. Good job. I'll be doing more videos in the future to demonstrate some of the ways that I use the clicker, particularly in canine musical freestyle training. But this video gives you a basic idea of what clicker training is and how to get started. If you have questions or want additional information on clicker resources, just leave a comment in the comment section below. Thank you so much for joining Tessa and me in this introduction. We'll see you in the next one.